And it's clear as day that they have an agenda against Shedeur for whatever reason. You know, I'm talking about Kevin Stefanski. He just don't like Shedeur. It's clear. Now, with that being said, they blew him out the water. Shedeur should have played in that fourth quarter. No ifs, ands, no buts about it.
And listen, man, it's clear as day. There's an agenda here. An agenda against Shedeur Sanders. You can feel it in every decision, every press conference, every snap that he doesn't get. I'm talking about Kevin Stefanski. The man just doesn't like Shedeur. Not as a player, not as a leader, not as the future face of this franchise. You can see it. The body language on the sideline, the silence in those post-game interviews. It's like they're trying to dim a light they know they can't control. And with that being said, they blew him out the water. 31-6, game over. Crowd gone, momentum buried. And yet, no Shedeur. No reps, no rhythm, no reason. A moment made for growth. Stolen. Shedeur should have played in that fourth quarter. No ifs, no ands, no buts about it. When you've got a star waiting in the wings, and you choose not to let him shine, that's not coaching. That's control.
So the point about Shedeur versus Gabriel versus Flacco, that takes on a little less importance when you think about, hey, regardless of who is back there at quarterback, we got to get better catching the football. We got to get better blocking people.
So when you really think about it, this whole debate, Shedeur versus Gabriel versus Flacco, starts to lose its meaning. Because no matter who lines up under center, Cleveland's problems run deeper than a nameplate on a jersey. You can swap quarterbacks all season long, but if your receivers can't catch, if your O-line can't hold the pocket for more than 2 seconds, if your offense folds under its own confusion, then it doesn't matter who's taking that snap. This isn't about the quarterback anymore. It's about a team that forgot how to believe. But here's the thing. There is one man in that locker room who still believes. One player who shows up early, studies late, and carries himself like a veteran in a rookie jersey. Shedeur Sanders. Calm under chaos, focused under fire. He's not begging for a chance, he's earning it. And when that door finally opens, Cleveland's gonna remember the moment they kept their future on the sideline.
Let's listen to what Rizzo and them had to say this morning on their podcast about Shedeur not playing.
Did you at any point in the fourth quarter think that Shedeur Sanders was going to get a series? I was hoping for it. Chris, you thought that should have happened?
Did you, at any point in the fourth quarter, think that Shedeur Sanders was going to get a series? And without missing a beat, Rizzo said it plain. I was hoping for it, Chris. Hope. That's all this city's been running on. Not game plans, not leadership, just hope that the future might finally step on the field. But then Tony G cuts in, voice heavy with that old school logic. He says, if you put Shedeur in there and he leads a touchdown drive, you've just created a quarterback controversy out of nowhere. And that right there, that's Cleveland's fear in one sentence. They're not afraid of losing games. They're afraid of what happens if Shedeur Sanders wins one. Because the moment he does, the locker room shifts, the headlines change. And the city starts asking the question the front office doesn't want to answer. Why wasn't he playing all along?
Jenkins' first pick with Cleveland. Jenkins! Pound that Miami defense. Whoa. For a little bit of a bobble, Jenkins gets it back.
Here's Judkins. Judkins found a hole. Judkins pops through. Judkins still going. Breaks a tackle. Down to the 10. 5. Touchdown, Browns! QJ! Put Cleveland on the board, baby!
Here's Judkins. He finds a hole, bursts through it like lightning. Still going, breaks a tackle. Down to the 10, the 5. Touchdown. Cleveland, QJ Judkins puts the Browns on the board, baby. And just like that, a spark in the darkness. A run that reminded every fan in that stadium what heart looks like. No trick plays, no excuses. Just grit, muscle, and pure determination. But even with that touchdown lighting up the field, there was still one question burning louder than the cheers. Why wasn't Shedeur Sanders in the game? Kevin Stefanski has done it again. Another Sunday, another decision that makes you wonder what this franchise really stands for. Cleveland finally got a win on the scoreboard, but no one in that building walked out celebrating. The fans felt cheated, the media felt uneasy, and even the players looked like they were carrying the weight of something that didn't feel right. Because once again, Shedeur Sanders never touched the field. The cameras found him again and again, helmet strapped, calm, eyes locked on the field, ready to go, waiting for a call that never came. Every fan in that stadium could see it. The kid was ready, but the man calling plays wasn't. You could feel it in Stefanski's body language from the sideline, hands folded, face blank, headset pressed too tight, like he was scared of his own success. When you coach with fear, you coach not to lose, not to win. And that's what this felt like. A head coach protecting his system, his ego, his job, not developing the future. People talk about development, but development doesn't happen in silence. It happens under lights, under pressure, with the crowd watching.
Stefanski keeps saying Shedeur is learning. The truth is, he's being contained. The Browns drafted lightning and then built a cage around it. The fans know. The locker room knows. Every week that passes, it becomes clearer. This isn't about who gives the team the best chance to win. It's about who makes the coach feel safe. Stefanski doesn't want a spark he can't control, and that's exactly what Shedeur Sanders is, a spark, a brand, a presence. The kind of presence that shifts momentum the moment he steps on the grass. Coaches like Stefanski don't know how to handle that. They hide behind process and patience, but what they really mean is, don't outshine me. And then came that Dolphins game. The easiest stage imaginable to let your young quarterback breathe. A game that was over before the third quarter even ended. The scoreboard said domination, 31-6. It was the perfect moment. The crowd was relaxed, the defense was in cruise control, and every fan knew what should have happened next. Give the rookie a series. Let him feel the NFL air. Let him hand it off. Call a play. Get that rhythm in real time. That's how you build confidence. That's how you build a future. But no, Stefanski didn't budge. He kept Dillon Gabriel in the whole way. Even when Judkins broke loose, found that gap, slipped through, powered down a sideline, 10-5, touchdown Browns. The cameras cut right to Shedeur on the sideline, still waiting, still locked in, still ignored. And that's when the frustration turned into disbelief. How does a head coach, up by 25, still refuse to give his rookie a single snap? How scared do you have to be of your own quarterback room to hide a player who's done nothing but prepare like a pro since day one? Cleveland radio lit up the next morning. Every mic in that city was on fire. Rizzo Max said it perfectly. Did you, at any point in the fourth quarter, think that Shedeur Sanders was going to get a series? And with no hesitation, he answered himself, I was hoping for it. That single word, hoping, captures the entire energy of this fan base. Not expecting, not demanding, just hoping. Hoping the coach would finally let common sense win. Hoping the future would finally see the field. Then Tony G came in with that old school logic. If you put Shedeur in and he leads a touchdown drive, you've got a quarterback controversy out of nowhere. That's the line that exposes everything. They're not afraid of losing games. They're afraid of what happens if Shedeur wins one. Because the moment he does, the entire narrative collapses. The fans start chanting, the players start believing, and Stefanski loses the one thing he's clung to all season: control. When a locker room starts to believe in someone the coach doesn't, that's when the walls start cracking. And you can feel those cracks forming in Cleveland. Myles Garrett's been showing it for weeks now. We're frustrated too, he said. That wasn't just about losing, it was about leadership. You can hear it in his tone, that quiet exhaustion that comes from giving everything and watching indecision wasted. Garrett praised Shedeur in that same breath, said he shows up early, studies plays with the coaches, talks through schemes, stays ready. You think that's coincidence? That's a veteran sending a message to the front office, this kid's ready. But Stefanski keeps pretending this is about development. He says he'll let the week play out. Translation: delay, deflect, protect the system. But the system's the problem. You can't run the same conservative script and expect a different ending. You can't talk about growth when you refuse to plant the seed. This whole argument about Shedeur versus Gabriel versus Flacco, it doesn't even matter anymore. Because at the end of the day, no matter who's under center, this team has deeper problems. Receivers dropping passes, linemen missing blocks, a playbook that looks allergic to rhythm. You can swap quarterbacks all you want, but if the fundamentals are broken, the outcome stays the same. And somehow, Stefanski has managed to make all of that Shedeur's fault, even when the kid hasn't played a single down. That's how twisted the narratives become. You listen to the media talk, and they still act like this is normal. He's learning, he's adjusting, he's not ready. Ready for what? The man's been ready since Colorado. Ready under brighter lights, bigger crowds, and louder noise than half this league's seen. The truth is, they don't want to admit they're scared, because if Shedeur walks in and delivers, it exposes the years of excuses this staff's been hiding behind. It proves the system wasn't broken, it was just outdated. And here's the irony. Cleveland finally has a quarterback that fits the city's DNA. Gritty, confident, fearless, a leader that doesn't flinch. But instead of building around that energy, they're burying it. You can see it in the players' faces. When Shedeur is on the sideline, the receivers drift to him. The young guys listen. He's got gravity. Leadership doesn't wait for permission. It draws people in naturally. And that's what scares this coaching staff. They've seen what happens when a player becomes bigger than the playbook. This franchise has a pattern. Every time a spark of greatness appears, the organization smothers it under structure. They did it with Mayfield, they did it with talent all over the roster, and now they're doing it again. The difference this time? Shedeur is not the kind of player you can hide. Every camera follows him. Every highlight post goes viral. Every time he takes a practice rep, it's trending. You can't suppress that kind of energy forever. What makes this worse is how tone-deaf the messaging has become. Stefanski keeps saying the team's focused on fundamentals, but how do you build fundamentals without reps? Practice isn't pressure. Practice doesn't simulate 70,000 screaming fans and blitz packages trying to end your career. The only way a quarterback learns this league is by playing in it. Yet the Browns keep holding him hostage behind the idea of patience. Patience isn't development, it's delay dressed up as discipline. Even the fans who once defended the coaching staff are turning. You see it on social media. Play Shedeur. What are we doing? Stop being scared. These aren't highlight-hungry fans. They're people who just want to see progress. They've watched this team recycle quarterbacks, coordinators, and excuses for years. And now they're watching the same cycle spin again, this time with a kid who could actually change everything. The locker room feels it too. You don't need insiders to tell you that energy shifts when the team believes the coach is holding them back. Players start side-eyeing decisions. Veterans start asking quiet questions. It's not chaos, it's human nature. When you see someone working harder, preparing longer, leading by example, and still getting benched, it chips away at morale. You can't build a culture of accountability when your best prepared player sits in a hoodie while others underperform. And Stefanski knows it. That's why he's doubled down. He's not benching Shedeur because of readiness. He's benching him because of optics. Because if Shedeur succeeds, every decision up to this point looks like a mistake. It's pride masquerading as strategy. Coaches love to preach team over ego, but this situation screams the opposite. This is ego over evolution. The Shedeur Sanders era will come. It's inevitable. You can't hold down charisma, preparation, and talent forever. You can delay it, you can deflect it, but you can't stop it. Every day he shows up early, studies longer, shakes every hand, and puts in the work that the public never sees. That's what leadership looks like. And when the moment finally comes, when they have no choice but to let him play, the whole building will feel it. You'll see teammates rally, you'll see energy shift, and you'll hear it in the crowd, the sound of belief returning. They're not afraid of Shedeur failing. They're afraid of him succeeding, because success exposes truth. It forces hard questions about decision-making, favoritism, and accountability. And when Shedeur succeeds, there's no going back. The franchise has to evolve or get left behind. Fans see through the smoke now. Every press conference quote about patience, every polite dodge about giving him time, every empty reassurance, it's all noise. What they see on the field is a team without rhythm, and on the sideline, a quarterback who could fix it. The longer this goes on, the louder it gets, and eventually, that noise turns into change. You can bench a player, but you can't bench destiny. That's the truth Cleveland is about to learn. Shedeur's time isn't coming someday, it's coming soon. And when it does, every excuse, every hesitation, every moment wasted on politics will fade beneath the sound of a city finally believing again. So go ahead, Kevin Stefanski, keep pretending you're protecting the process. Keep saying it's about timing and trust. But when the lights hit and that number shines on the Jumbotron, the people won't forget who kept him waiting. Because when Shedeur Sanders finally steps on that field, it won't just be a debut, it'll be a reckoning. Drop SS 100% in the comments if you're ready for the truth. Like the video. Share it with every Browns fan who's tired of excuses. This isn't hate, it's accountability. And Cleveland, it's time to stop hiding the future and finally let it play.